Welcome to the Successful Nurse Coach podcast. On this podcast, Laura
and Shelby, both board-certified nurse coaches, show you how to make as much money as you want in private practice as a nurse coach.
Hello and welcome back to the Successful Nurse Coach podcast. It is Shelby here today for a very impromptu episode. I wanted to record this in real time, one, as a form of processing for myself, and two, to let you guys all in on some like real and raw vulnerable moments here for me. So to make a very long story short, right now I'm in a coaching certification process for deep coaching. It's a really long, extensive process. So I've been in class for creeping up close to a year now. And at first, and for those wondering, Leon Vanderpaul, A Shift in Being, that's the work that I'm referencing. I'm in Leon's courses, and Leon's top notch. He's a great human. I've been working in his bubble for a long time. And, I've read his book several times, and then I got into the class and I was like, wow, I know actually nothing about deep coaching and deep transformation. And it was very humbling to be in a room with new coaches and also feel like a straight up beginner all over again. And I think that intellectually I had an understanding of all of the concepts of deep coaching and like how to facilitate and how to be, but there was a pretty big and significant gap in my own being as a deep transformative coach, and like a heart knowing, an inner knowing that I've really been honing in on for like the past 8 months or so. And so I'm in like the final leg of my certification process. And, just like with anything, I've been practicing, I've been coaching a lot of pro bono hours. I've been putting in the time, showing up every week to class. Like, it's been really intense. And over time, my confidence has grown. And I've had some really good sessions. I've had some, frankly, flop sessions. And what's really kind of been great is that this time on the go around, I know that this is all a learning process. And so I'm like, okay, if that wasn't the session, it's all right. Just keep going. Just keep moving. And it hasn't really been, it's been all right. I've been able to learn and grow and all the things. But today I'm kind of like, I don't know what to equate this to, but like the coaching container itself has 10 coaches in it. We're all deep coaches. And every week we cover a little bit of material and theory, and then we coach for an hour. There's someone that coaches. There's someone who is coached. It can either be a peer inside the class, or you can bring in a willing outsider to the group. And then we coach for about an hour. And then on the back end, Leon and the group give you real-time feedback. And as coaches, you all know how critical and important this is, how hard it can be, especially if you're coaching folks and they don't really like know how to give constructive feedback, or they just feel like you're getting told like, great job all the time. Like, this was great. And you're like, I hear you. And there's probably something that I could be improving on. To be honest, getting that kind of feedback is really tough. It's really, really tough to get like genuine, unfiltered feedback from someone. So I was excited to be in this container because we're all playing full out. We're all being super vulnerable. We're all still like achieving some kind of mastery, but really still in the learning phase, right? And very open about it. So today, it is the Thursday after we got back from our mentorship retreat. So I'm riding a pretty significant high at the moment. I like coming home from retreat. You're tired, but you kind of feel like on cloud nine, where everyone's like doing good and you got to hug everybody. My cup is very full at the moment. So I was feeling rock solid going into this call to where I was going to be the coach today. And I asked one of my mentees to come and be my client during the session. And this client, I won't name her, but she's wonderful, beautiful, so open and so warm and so gooey to like this deep transformative work. To where I was like, if there is a chance at having a deep coaching moment, it's with this human. I'm almost certain that nothing can happen to where it will take away, unless it just wasn't meant to happen, So she comes onto the call, we get started, and I've been coaching with this person for 8 months about. And she's, like I said, just been in it, like in the best way, really up-leveling her self-concept, really shedding layers of doubt and limiting beliefs and calling in the future that she wants, the future self she wants to be, getting closer to her and tapping into her. And I'm not going to get into the logistics of the call today, but it was kind of like one of those sessions where the floodgates open and it's just so much in the best way. And like in the best way. And I really feel like I did the best with the knowledge that I had. But I was feeling like okay at the end of it. I was feeling all right. Of like, okay, like I can see where I could do better. And I can see where I can improve. And usually the way the flow goes is you end the session and then like a peer will give you feedback and then Leon will give you feedback and then he'll kind of like open it up to the rest of our peers to give feedback. And my peer was very generous with me. He's like, I have 8 pages of notes. There was so many good things going on. He's like, I might have done, these things differently, but like maybe that's the way it was supposed to unfold today. But you did these things well, X, Y, and Z. And then Leon takes over and he's like, well, Shelby, I'm really going to take a screwdriver today and I'm going to like poke around extra. Okay, I'm going to be maybe more intense than I usually would be here. And I was like, immediately wanting to barf. And I was like, yeah, okay, sounds so good. Sounds so good. And y'all, I got it handed to me for 15 minutes straight in the best way. In the best way. It's been a long time since I have received feedback of that caliber. And to be honest, I don't know that I've ever received feedback to that caliber before. But on the call, I'm like actively like trying to listen to the feedback and also not shut down. Or get like overly defensive or justify why I did certain things versus not. I'm actively noticing my ego like kicking and screaming because she's bruised. She feels attacked. She feels open and vulnerable and all of these things. And I was able to like take a few deep breaths to receive. And like, if I had a choice, of course, I'm going to choose like, I want the more real and vulnerable feedback, right? I want the more intense, like I want to be the best coach. So like, don't dilute it for me. But just because I would prefer that also doesn't make it any less hard to hear. And I just want to like be here and be humbled and be in the messiness of it all. Because as coaches, I think especially as you're doing so many repetitions and so like I coach like actual coaching hours. I'm coaching about 15 to 20 hours a week. Like I'm putting in a lot of reps every single week. And I've been coaching anywhere from 8 to 15 hours a week for years. And I think that we can kind of like get in a groove and get in a flow and like have a subconscious agenda. And you kind of like have to like get gut checked every now and again by a mentor who's like, hey, you could have, you got in the way here, or your agenda showed up here, or you led here when you should have followed. And did you notice that your lack of confidence showed up here? Direct words from Leon, by the way, to me. And it's good to get rattled like that every now and again, because I think that as coaches, we always have to be finding our growth edge. And if you're hiding in the corner not open to that kind of thing, then it's really easy to hide. It's really easy for the ego to take over and be like, well, that client just wasn't ready, or they weren't ready to go deep, or they didn't have a good experience because, their own limiting beliefs got in the way. And I just want to offer you of like, okay, that might be true, but like, really, did you do your best? Did you actually do your best? Do you have a mentor checking in with you, providing you feedback like that? It was, oof, it was so intense, everybody. It was so intense. So I got off the call and I immediately picked up my phone. Well, I walked downstairs and I complained to my husband about how Leon ripped me to shreds on the call. And then I picked up my phone and I started Marco Poloing, like video messaging our team. And I was like, I just need a place to debrief. Like, I know that this was good, but like, I just got my head spun around like 360 degrees. And I need a bit of a pep talk. Like, I need you to hold me a little bit while I lick my wounds. And to be fair, I'll give Leon some credit. He did say that, he did highlight some things that went really well in the session as well. So it wasn't all rain on Shelby, and even in the way that he delivered feedback, it was direct and clear, but not unkind. So I can still hear all of those things. But Laura came back and was just like laughing her ass off. She was like, dude, I know exactly what this means. Like, I know what you're talking about. She's been coached with Leon one-on-one for a little while now. She was like, it is so jarring to have him come in hot like that. Like, it's so intense. And then Shawnee, who's also on our team, she was also laughing. She was like, Shelby, it's so good because you have handed my ass to me on calls before. And like, so it's all playing out as it should. And I was able to come down a few notches. My ego was able to like give itself a hug and be okay. But I wanted to offer this to all of you of like how challenging it can be to really truly playful out, to be vulnerable, to be new, to be a learner. Like, this requires a level of commitment to yourself, to your abilities as a coach. Like, it's very demanding. And I think that it is so important. God, it is so important to have a mentor in your corner who can either be like, you're doing a good job, or be like, hey, I can see where you tried really hard, but here's some ways to do better next time. It's imperative. And every amazing coach I know still has someone in their corner giving them the tough love. And I needed that. I needed that today. So special shout out to my client who came and played. Bless you. Bless you. I love you. She was wonderful. God, she was so open and just like transparent, and it was really beautiful to witness. I wish everybody could just like be in the presence of someone who's willing to go there. It's really magical. And if it was my recording to share, which it's not, but if it was, I would share it with you guys on YouTube just so that you could learn, so you could see, and so that you could see the feedback. But these are the perks of having a coach. These are the perks of getting your bell rung, for lack of a better phrase, to be committed to the path, to be on the path, to always be sharpening your skills, even 6 years in. Here we are, right? Here we are. All right, team. This is a bit short and sweet episode today. I'm recording, as you can tell, at my desk, which is not my usual thing. I'm barefaced and messy hair, and staring off into the distance. So sorry for the video watchers here. I'm kind of in like a deep reflective moment, but sending you lots of love, and I'll see you next Monday.